Hello and welcome to another Naughty Egg Draw. I'm Jake, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to animate extreme expressions. Now when I'm talking about extreme expressions, take for instance things like Looney Tunes.
I'd like to try out for the team.
Hey.
Hi.
Or Egoraptor.
Simmer down. Are you implying that I am above 98.5 degrees because that's the normal body temperature? And I don't think that's really considered a simmering level.
Now these are examples of extreme expressions where the characters' faces are deformed in a way to really emphasize the extreme response to an emotion. But this should be pretty fun, so let's get into it. So today, since I'm just showing you how to animate faces, I'm going to be drawing just the head for all of these so we can focus on that aspect. Now when you're working on a sketch layer, it's always good practice to keep a frame of reference of where your character's going to be looking by using this cross method here. Now when you're animating extreme expressions, you'll be utilizing the first principle of animation, which is the squash and stretch method. This in short is when you take an object that is in motion and expand it in a direction. Basically you want to make sure the object keeps its mass, so if you squish something downward, you're going to want to stretch it outward in the same amount. So as you can see, I went from a very rested squishing state to a more extreme stretched face here. Now remember, these are supposed to be extreme, so sometimes you can actually ignore the part of the equation where you have to keep the mass 100% the same. As with the eyes and the mouth here, they are around the same width as before, but they come up a lot more in a lengthy way. And I try to make it even more apparent that he's scared with the eyes swooping backwards towards the rear of his head. Now once you finish with the apex of your motion, you're going to want to start bringing it back to its original state. But you don't want to just snap it right back. You're going to want to bring it down just a little bit past the resting state and squish it just a little bit. This gives it a little bit more of a natural feel of motion. And once you have all the keyframes done that you're going to want, you're going to play around with the timing just a little bit and play it over and over again until you find the pace that you like. And once you find the timing that you like, you're going to want to make another layer that you're going to make your final line work on. Now I'm going to be making 3 different expressions in this tutorial. A very scared face, which is what this one is here, an angry yelling like expression, and another where the character is spooked about something behind him. Now I quickly animated the same expression here without all the extreme motions of the mouth, head, and eyes, and as you can see, it really conveys a completely different feeling to the piece. Now the next face here is the angry yelling face, and like before, I set up my face using the cross method for the eyes and the mouth. And a big thing to remember when you are animating anything in motion, you want to have a lead up to that motion. That is why you see the head come down just a little bit at first before it actually makes its motion upward. Now one thing I like to do when I'm animating faces like this is that I actually like to keep the bottom of the head in the same place and actually move the top part of the skull, which is actually opposite of how our faces actually work. If you're to yell normally, your jaw is what drops down and your skull stays about in the same area. But as you can see, I actually keep the jaw in the same area. I feel this actually helps the brain see something out of the ordinary and helps you perceive something that's a little bit more extreme. Something else that you can play with when you're doing this is making things stretch so much that it actually covers up parts of the face. Like here I have the mouth expanding so much that it actually completely covers where the eyes are. And again, just like before, start bringing the head down to a more resting state, but make sure it has that little bounce of motion right before it pops back to normal. And again, find the timing that you like and start making the final line work here. And the last face we'll be animating here is the spooked face, as if something made a noise behind you in an old creepy house. Now when you're making faces, one thing you really want to think about is the position of the eyebrows and the pupil movements. This can really help emphasize the emotion that your character is trying to show. Something that's going to be a little bit different in this expression than the others is that I'm actually going to be using the mouth itself to lead the motion of the head. This gives the face a much different feel to it by making the mask change and really pulling the face into another snap position. And this is just another way to make something look like it's moving fast in a different direction. And you don't have to use the mouth for this. You could use the eyes, or if you drew a nose, which I didn't here, you can use that to lead the motion. But I chose to do the mouth. Since he's scared, he would possibly be making a noise with his mouth as he turns. And remember, right now, this is just your sketch layer, so don't be afraid to try out different expressions while you're here. I actually chose some different expressions in my final line work than what I have right now. So just have fun and play around with whatever you think would work best. And one last thing I wanted to do with the face was to make it come back to its rested state looking the other direction. In this motion I chose to do more of a motion blur in the drawing instead of using the leading method that I showed before. I just picked this because I thought it would help emphasize the frantic nature of the expression. And once again, once you're done with all your keyframes, you're going to be wanting to play with the timing a bit. Play it over and over again until you get what feels best. But this one just needs the line work done, so I will see you guys at the end when all 3 expressions are played through. And that is pretty much it. We are done with everything. I did add some color to the piece, and here they all are. We got the scared screaming, the anger screaming, and the spooked expressions. And obviously there's many more expressions out there that you can do, so make sure to try out these methods on your own, and if you do, upload them and make sure to tag me on any social media so I can check them out. And I hope this was helpful for any of you guys out there, and I hope you had fun going through all this with me today. Alright, that is it everyone. I hope this helped any of you guys who are out there trying to learn how to animate. If you guys make any animations, make sure to share them with me because I'd absolutely love to see them. And if you guys send me enough animations using the techniques that I showed today, I'm going to showcase them at the end of next month with a review. And before I forget, make sure to check out this awesome fan art here by Pencil Boy. Thank you so much for sending this in. I'm going to have a link for his Instagram down below. And remember, if you ever want to have any of your art shown here at the end of these videos, make sure to tag me on Twitter or on Instagram using the hashtag #NEFanArt. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video till the end. If you haven't yet, make sure you smack that sub button, throw a like and a comment down below, and like always, keep drawing, and until next time, bye!